Good morning, everybody. My name is Miranda. I'm operational manager at Cloudteam company in the Netherlands. Thank you for joining today's webinar. We are joined today by Adriaan Babic, consultant at Cloudteam company, and our guest speaker today is Matt Bray, Vice President at SalesTrip, a global travel and expense solution on Salesforce headquartered in the UK. Over the next 30 minutes, we will discuss and demonstrate how organizations can better manage, govern and justify business travel and expenses to derive ROI from spend and create a hassle-free process for employees. The topic today, with Dreamforce fast approaching, will you realize the return on investment from your employees attending? Before we begin, however, some quick housekeeping. The recording will be sent to all attendees who will be following the webinar. And questions can be posted through the Zoom chat, which we will be reviewed in the Q&A at the end. And Tessa Maas, also consultant at Cloudteam company, will assist Matt answering questions. Enjoy this webinar. Well, Matt, will you take over?
My pleasure. Thanks, Miranda. Hi, everybody. Thank you for the introduction, and thank you for attending today's webinar. So, Dreamforce has grown into so much more than a conference. It's an experience like no other. From inspiring keynotes and sessions, to visionary thinking, to discovering the future of technology, to actually changing the world. It's a truly empowering 4 days and an event you won't want to miss. Now, that's the quotation taken directly from Salesforce's Why Attend pages. Salesforce, let's face it, it's a movement. And between 18th and 22nd of November, more than 180,000 paying delegates from over 103 represented countries descend on San Francisco. It's not only the learning people go to Dreamforce for, but like any industry event, it's the networking. And that's across partners, prospects, customers, all in the name of building relationships and doing business for revenue gain. Now, Salesforce claim that the companies who attend Dreamforce achieve on average, and this is from their website, a 38% increase in sales productivity, a 20% increase in customer retention, 32% increase in employee productivity through collaboration, 29% in marketing campaign effectiveness, and 58% faster integrations from attending Dreamforce. Now, something must be ringing true, because unbelievably, the conference passes were sold out in under 20 days from going live in August. So, question is your company one of the companies and the company employees, one of the employees going, of that 180,000 going? If so, as a company paying for your employees' business trip, do you know whether your financial investment and employees' time will be of value to your organization and the reward to your company's financial bottom line? If you had this return on investment data, would you budget for your employees to do it again in 2020? So let's pretend you've approved your employees' trip budget of $8,461 to attend Dreamforce. Okay, so now let's have a look at the typical off-platform processes companies employ and employees have to follow to make a trip booking, process on-the-road expenses, and assign trip spend to an activity, whether that be an opportunity or a campaign. So, the fact is, if you travel for business, then you're going to have to submit expenses. It's the rule of law. The two go hand in hand. You have to spend money to make money. There are 6 key stages, each with their own incredibly important functions, from the employee booking process through to the financial accounting. Okay, without one of these functions in place, the potential for employee fraud, spend leakage, or delays in employee reimbursement are enormous. And as travel expenses are the second largest company expenditure after payroll, can have an incredible detrimental impact into the cash flow, company, and employee morale. Okay, so let's pretend we've now been approved to go on the trip. So I've got to go and I've got to find out some fares. Okay, so what do I need to do as an employee? First of all, I have to go and book, have a look at the fares through air. So let's have a look at the internet. Let's have a look at some websites. There must be more retail and corporate travel booking tools in the internet than stars in the sky. They all do roughly the same thing. They are just painted up in a different flashy UI to try and promote and use. So you have to look at hotels. You can look at comparison sites. You can look at those directly with suppliers like Marriott or Hilton. Same with car hire. But these days, or business trips going to cities, typically you'll grab an Uber or a taxi, which is far less risky and far easier and cheaper than it is to have a hire car, but your preference. Then you've got to look at kind of other spend that you want to do that in the pre-booking process. May that be like upgrades, extra luggage, seat selection, anything you need shipped to the event, or maybe some visas that you need in order to go. Once you've done that, you've got to get that approved. Now, if that is not approved within the budget, you've got to go back and do it again and again and again until it is approved. So get that trip booked within the travel approval process, within policy, and now you can go. So we're now moving on to the trip. We pick up all our on-the-road expenditure. We've got our receipts, and we post those against the expense report. And we've got to go then. We come back from the trip. We've got to get that approved again, making sure that's in the expense policy and whether the receipts equal the value of the line item that's put on the expense report, or that you physically have the receipts that marry up to the physical transaction. You need all those things in order to get reimbursed the money that you spent on that particular trip. If you don't, go back, find the receipts, do it again. Do it again until you do, and then submit the expense. And it's that point where the clock starts ticking between submitting the expenses and getting reimbursement on your expense. It's got to go through to finance. So we now send it through to accounts payable. That's where the reconciliation will typically happen, where we're marrying the receipt, the trip, the business purpose, and the credit card or personal card that was used within the transaction. And also, more effective companies will run a tax or a VAT audit over the top of their receipts in order to marry up for their local legislative tax requirements and VAT reclaim purposes. Once that's approved, it goes through accounts payable, and that's paying off if you have corporate cards or company paid cards. You need to make sure that those receipts marry up to those company paid line items. If there are any charges, invoices, those sort of things in the pre-booking process with your travel management company or your online booking tool, those have all got to be paid off. And then finally as well, you go and reimburse the employee what was in policy back what was submitted. Once that's all done, you've got to literally enter that into the general ledger. That can either be, in some cases, a manual process, line by line processing. That really is a piece you really do need to automate to run through into your accounting module in finance. And then right at the end of that, you're going to have an opportunity to report on it right at the end of the process. So how long did that take to process one expense? Now consider how many expenses your company are processing daily, monthly, if not annually. Probably quite a lot. So the challenge with these processes is that they're just totally inefficient. The solutions that are used are all isolated, they're siloed, they're not connected to the rest of the business, and this is apparent in the majority of companies today. Companies cannot get detail of total trip cost or detailed transparency across travel suppliers and fees and charges until at the end of the year. You cannot easily aggregate spend or derive true return on investment for what you've spent. You cannot control or manage travel policy compliance, spend governance, or even employee purchase behavior as it happens and when it happens. You suffer from complex approval processes, difficult reconciliation, and often reimbursement delays rolling into payroll and delays in employees getting their money back from their expenses, which has a direct impact in employee morale. And most worrying, there's an inability to see where the employees are in real time, where they are in the world on their business trips, as per the legislative duty of care obligations. But these pain points outlined are all soft costs, impacting company cash flow, trip program control, and process inefficiencies. These, however, do not even compare to the biggest costs, which are directly traditionally hidden in the travel booking experience. So today, travel bookings are made using the existing travel supply chain. Okay, each provider in the chain takes a percentage or a markup or charges a fee for their service, traditionally online, but more so for offline. So let's take that air transaction, for example. The online booking tool is reliant on the travel management company to process the transaction. Each will charge the customer for this service, whether that's a fare or a markup or a percentage that's hidden in the fare price or a separate fee levied on top of the transaction. And in the majority of cases, it's both. The travel management company then processes the transaction through the global distribution system. That could be Amadeus, Sabre, Travelport, there are a few. The GDS then charges the merchant, that's the airline, to distribute their content, and in some cases pays a commission back to the travel management company and the online booking tool, providing those suppliers multiple revenue sources for as a front-end booking engine. For the airline, this makes the cost of sale extremely expensive because they have to deal with 3, if not 4 providers in the supply chain to reach the customer. And unfortunately, this process has been in place since the airlines started distributing their content, and it's endemic across the entire travel industry. So today's world is changing, and Salesforce is doing this with SalesTrip. Connected technology is enabling transparency and eliminating fees and providing the true net cost of booking. This means for airlines a lower cost of distribution, the customer a massive long-term financial saving, and for employees a simple, more retail shopping experience, promoting adoption of their Salesforce instance. So with connected technology and single office capability, companies can put together best-in-class travel expense practices to drive both soft and hard incremental savings. The magic is the single office and the platform approach, which means not only can total trip costs be visible, but now how that cost can relate to any activity the employee performs in the line of duty. So for Salesforce customers, using a travel expense solution on platform makes it simple both for the employee and the company. Single office, single UI in a connected experience with 360-degree real-time visibility of spend and employee movement through both the desktop and mobile, connected directly from Salesforce to the company's wider IT infrastructure. So you go to Dreamforce, then why not build a campaign so the employee can associate every pre-trip booking and on-the-road expense back to the activity, whether that be a contact or a lead or an opportunity or a campaign or a customer. On platform means building and customizing the program that best fits with your company and preferred employee experiences for adoption. Full visibility, control and connectivity with all the systems and processes you need with the comfort of knowing full real-time transparency of spend is achieved. Now, to show you what this experience looks like in practice, I'll now hand you over to Adrienne, who'll walk you through SalesTrip.
Hello. Hi. Welcome. It's Adriana Babitz from Cloudteam company. And in the coming few minutes, I'm to demonstrate you the solution, the SalesTrip solution, how it looks from a Dreamforce point of view, how it looks for an end user, and how managers can benefit from the solution. SalesTrip comes with a few predefined apps. The one that's called SalesTrip that involves every object, custom object or standard objects of your company. SalesTrip profile helps you feed your passport number, your preferred payment method, your preferred airport to the system, so that you do not need to define to enter it each and every time you book a flight. And certain SalesTrip settings are also available to capture mileage reimbursement rates or payment methods. And there's a fourth app that is available, GeoPoint. This is for managers to display their people on the road. Let's see first the SalesTrip home. You can see the highlights of your pending items, either because something is missing or an approval is still needed for your expenses. You can see in the middle of the screen that whether you have travels at the moment. As you can see, in a day, I'm to travel back from London Heathrow to Amsterdam Airport. So this means that the Salesforce knows that I'm on travel, and this will make sense in a few minutes when I'm to demonstrate how to attach an invoice for an existing travel. I can also have a look at my reimbursements. Any expense claims that I issued in the near past are displayed here at a glance. Let's have a first look at the campaigns. Dreamforce has been defined as a campaign in my system, with a budgeted cost of roughly 4 times 8,461 euros, because I'm to send 4 sales reps to Dreamforce in November 2019. You can see my spendings as well, what me as an end user have already spent for this campaign, and what my team members have spent. The people who have trips or expenses that are relocated to the very same campaign. And everything that is forecasted is displayed as well. For example, among the expenses for this month, for this particular campaign, there is already one, and this is the registration fee and visa costs for one of the participants. That's already done. It's already deducted from the budgeted cost. You can create a trip, you can launch a trip wizard directly from the Dreamforce campaign object in the system by clicking on New Trip or by clicking on Trip Search. Both do the same thing, and you are able to enter expenses against the campaign directly from the click action. But you can choose an opportunity, a lead, or an account, or a project, or any standard objects as a business purpose for your travel. Let's have an opportunity. Have a look at an opportunity that is linked to a Dreamforce campaign. You can see the default value, opportunity value, and you can see that at the moment, no, there's no spending yet. And you can see the same new trip, new expense buttons, and the same trip search for this, such as you could say for the campaign itself. The beauty of it is that business purpose and departure airport are automatically filled in, because the system knows this from personal settings, and the system knows the business purpose because I launched the wizard from the opportunity. So let's travel to San Francisco in November this year. I'm entering the dates right now, and let's have, and since the latest release of SalesTrip, I'm also able to select from available cabin classes. I have just hit the button, Find My Trip, and in a few seconds, the built-in mechanism, the built-in shopping engine will show me the results of my search, flight tickets, and it's real availability of the flight tickets directly coming from the internet. There are no hidden fees, and no need to call a travel agent, no need to log out from SalesTrip, no need to log into another ticket searching system, no need to log into a website. It does the job for you. Everything is in one office, let's say, and this real availability of the tickets. On my screen, you can see the list of tickets that are available, and you are able to filter and sort them as you wish. if it is a long flight that is worth go for fastest flight, you can define the number of stops where you wish to travel. It's land or takeoff. It's more to select the duration of your flight, or can even refine your search results by which airline you prefer. In the near future, there will be even more and more airlines available. By applying the filters, we are relaunching this already existing search, and you will have a slightly different view where you are able to have a look, compare the flight tickets, and make a decision on which one you want to book. We are still on Salesforce platform, so we do not need to do anything else. Just after having made the decision, just click on Book Now. After having clicked here, of course, I do have a notification that this is a demo system. It's not a live booking. But if it was your system and you clicked on Purchase Tickets, such as I do now, then in a few seconds, the built-in mechanism will actually do the booking on your behalf. Because the system knows your passport number and knows any further information that are necessary for their carriers. Your booking has been confirmed in a few seconds. You have received an email with the itinerary and with the invoice. And as it is an invoice, it has already been reflected and matched in the system. That's the airfare. And that is, of course, automatically linked to your trip and to the opportunity. If it is a very high price, then of course it shall go to an approver, and the approval process is the standard built-in native Salesforce approval process. Might go to an unlimited number of approvers. The approvers have the appropriate buttons to approve it, reject it, or reassign. So this is how you book a flight. In the near future, yet in 2019, not only flight booking will be available, but also trains and hotel rooms direct from your Salesforce platform. And you can also add expenses of like receipts of your existing trips that are ongoing trips or past trips. And this is what I'm going to demonstrate by using my mobile phone. If everything goes okay, in a few seconds you should see my mobile. There we go. I'm launching my Salesforce app from my mobile phone. And what's the beauty of it is that you can see whether you have to, in the homepage, you can see whether you need to approve anything. And of course, you can add trips as well and expenses on the fly. Expenses are located here. You just hit New, upload a button, make a photo, of your receipt, and in a few seconds after having uploaded it, the system will recognize the values. It recognized the purchase date, 4th of September, so it immediately recognized the trip and the business purpose. And this comes from my homepage where we could see that I'm currently on a trip, and based on the travel dates, I'm on a trip, so this expense must come from this trip. You need to review it, of course, and you might need to adjust it. You can see certain ones in orange, those ones can be overwritten. And let's click on Save. In a few seconds, you can see that the that it has been submitted. and even went for an approval. If everything is okay, you should see my screen right now on my desktop. So we have seen how to add an invoice to via mobile. We have seen how to book a flight from either an opportunity, an account, or a campaign, or anything you want to be as a central business purpose of the trip. And now we are okay to go to the manager view. Manager view is basically the duty of care, a nice visual interpretation of where my people currently are. It might be very, very helpful for a manager to see at a glance where his people are on the road. It might be useful for them to contact them at the appropriate moment, depending on the time zone. But it might also be very, very useful to see the weather conditions over there. So what SalesTrip gives you, but GeoPoint makes you be able to do is to display any additional layers on the map. This layer might be climate related, and this is what we can see here. You are able to display radar, clouds, wind speeds, traffic related information is also available, but even political layer can be put there so that you could see which of your people are currently in risk, so that you could contact them, so that you could create a chatter group, for example, and keep contact with them. In this case, you can see very heavy hurricane-ish conditions here over the Carolinas. It might be worth contacting the people to see and make sure that they are safe. Once you are, so that's all about the map functionality. Feel free to play with it. It's very, very useful because it just displays you who are where at the moment. As a manager, of course, you want to keep an eye on the numbers, on the figures. So what you can see is if you go to opportunities again and you display this West Invested, the opportunity, what you could see is that the spendings have been updated because the recently booked flight has been added to the forecast spending. And the budget has been recalculated, the remaining budget, and the trip as well as the expense are already automatically added to the record, to the opportunity record, and this is the same for the belonging campaign. Once we are talking about the dirty numbers, certain dashboards are also available for managers to keep an eye on the returns of investment to see that that actually how profitable this campaign is, to see who are the most efficient people. So just feel free to, by using SalesTrip, just feel free to drag and drop, create a nice comparative dashboard, give a punchy name, and to see so that you could see who is the most efficient salesperson, or even who is spending the most among these salespeople, or where is my sales ROI the highest. You can also create a report on the effectiveness of the campaigns, and this really helps you understand in a second where are steps, should steps be done, and what are good and what are not good, what could be still optimized in your system. So I believe, after having looked at campaigns and opportunities and flight bookings, submitting expenses, maps and dashboards, we are at the end of the journey of SalesTrip. I give the microphone back to Matt. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Okay, if you just unshare, just move to Q&A. So I realise we're right at the top of the hour. If anybody has any questions at all, please fire them through on the chat of Zoom, or please speak openly now, and we'll try and answer any questions you may have. we're happy, I assume, just to run over just 2 or 3 minutes. Alternatively, send them directly to Cloudteam Company or myself following the webinar.